Hello, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm craving some warm, delicious comfort food to hit the spot. Creamy mushroom, champagne, parmesan risotto. Yes, it is the perfect meal to make when you have a little extra time to put into dinner. The whole process takes around 45 minutes, but it's well worth it. And you can easily make this dish a vegetarian option if you just exclude the broth that I use and use vegetable broth. Easy as that. And if you choose to exclude the champagne, no problem. It will still taste absolutely delicious. All right, let's start by preheating our ovens to 400 degrees. Wash your hands and I'll show you how to prep the mushrooms. Here I just have a cremini mushroom. If you have a button mushroom, that will do just the same. What I'm gonna do is take off the stem by gently pushing on it down here and just putting slight pressure, and it just rolls right on out. And then turn it 90 degrees and thirds again. And again, the stem, cut it in half lengthwise and then in half widthwise. All right, using medium-high heat, you want to grab a 12 to 13-inch saute skillet and just let 2 tablespoons of butter melt into there. Once the butter has melted, you want to grab a couple cups of mushrooms. So now you want to coat them nicely with all that fatty goodness from the butter. And we're gonna cook these until they caramelize and turn nice and brown. Once they brown to right about here, you want to add, right now I'm throwing a half a cup of finely diced onion. So most of these are gonna melt and just leave the flavor. So keep that in mind. You want them really small, really delicate cuts. And just let those cook until they turn translucent. I really wish they were a little more oily, so I'm just gonna add about half a teaspoon of olive oil. And again, continue to let the onions turn translucent. Once the onions turn translucent, you want to take a cup of arborio rice, which is the most commonly used rice in risotto. And you just want each grain to soak up all the fat at the bottom of the pan. Get them nice and coated. Every single one has to have a little bit of love. Now you want to drop the heat down to about medium. And we're going to add 1 cup of champagne or prosecco or even chicken broth if you choose to at this point. And we're just going to let this evaporate. Let it do its thing. And we're just gonna leave that in the oven for the next 15 minutes, so set your timer. All right, after 15 minutes, you wanna go ahead and pull it out. And now at this point, it's going to be looking a little crazy, and that's okay. You just wanna dig through it, make sure it's cooking in there, which it is. It's not done, so don't worry. I'm just tasting for seasoning. I'm gonna actually add just a little bit more salt. In addition to the salt, I'm going to be adding a half a cup of chicken broth. Just mix that in. I'm also going to be adding a half a cup of cream. And at this point, it should be about 85% cooked. The rest of the cooking process, we are going to be spinning it and spinning it and spinning it on the stovetop. So just incorporate all of that cream. And now you can see how nice and creamy it's looking. Just don't let it stick to the bottom. You do not want it to burn. So, as you can see here, I'm just spinning it and flattening it. Just let it cook. It's a process, but it's definitely worth it in the end. One thing you're going to want to remember while handling these pots, mine doesn't necessarily have a handle, but you might want to just leave a rag on the handle just to make sure you remember each time you come back to it that it's really hot. It did just come out of a 400-degree oven, and the last thing you want to do is grab it. And keep spinning. You're going to be spinning for the next several minutes, just until you get the creamy consistency that you absolutely desire. Now I feel like it's really close to being done. I'm just gonna add a touch more cream to mine because I want it really creamy and rich. Once you get the consistency to about where you want it, make sure you turn your fire off. Next, I'm going to add some freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano. If you only have the type of Parmesan cheese that goes on top of what most people put on spaghetti, that's fine too. You can totally do that. I actually want mine just slightly looser, so I'm just gonna add a touch more chicken broth. Mix that right on in. And there it is. That's the consistency that I was looking for. I want it to be not loose, not firm, but right in the middle. Let's get it on a plate. And I'm using parsley, but you can easily top it with chives and it will taste just as delicious. Check it out. There's champagne, there's Parmesan, there's mushrooms. This is going to be absolutely amazing. And guys, this creamy Parmesan risotto was exactly what I was craving on this chilly, rainy night, but it definitely hit the spot. If you decide to make this recipe, please let me know. Comment below, like, subscribe, and I'll definitely get back to you with more recipes. Thanks for watching.